Virgin forced to marry a paralyzed billionaire. It was her first time, and he won't let her. Part 2. Ela woke slowly, awareness returning in pieces. Warmth, safety, the scent of expensive cologne, and something distinctly male. Her eyes fluttered open. She was in her bed. The white silk sheets were tangled around her legs, and pressed against her back, one arm wrapped protectively around her waist, was Damien. The memories came flooding back. Oh, God, last night, the gala, the kiss, coming back here, and her cheeks burned. They'd made love, actually made love, her first time, with her husband who wasn't supposed to be her real husband, but who touched her like she was something precious and worshipped every inch of her skin until she'd fallen apart in his arms. Multiple times. Isla's heart raced. Behind her, Damien stirred. "You're awake," he said, his voice rough with sleep. "Yeah. How do you feel?" She turned carefully in his arms to face him. He looked different. His hair was messy, falling across his forehead. His eyes were soft, vulnerable. The usual walls were gone. "Sore," she admitted, "but good." Relief flooded his expression. "I wasn't too rough?" "No, you were perfect." "Isla, I mean it." She reached up to cup his face. "Last night it was everything." Something in his eyes cracked. "For me too." They lay there, foreheads touching, just breathing each other in. Then Damien said quietly, "I need to tell you something." Isla's stomach clenched. "Okay." "Last night," he swallowed hard, "it wasn't just sex for me. It wasn't for me either. I mean, it wasn't casual. It wasn't me just taking what I wanted." His gray eyes were intense, desperate. "You're not just my fake wife anymore. You're—" "What?" she whispered. "Mine," he said simply. "Really mine, if you want to be." Tears pricked her eyes. "I want to be. Even though I'm broken?" "You're not broken." "Isla, you're hurt," she corrected firmly. "There's a difference. And I don't care about the wheelchair or the limitations or any of it. I care about you." Damien's hand came up to thread through her hair. "How are you real?" "I could ask you the same thing." He kissed her, slow, deep, tender, like he was trying to memorize the taste of her. When they broke apart, both breathless, Isla asked, "What happens now?" "Now?" Damien's lips curved. "Now I make you breakfast." She blinked. "You cook?" "I have many hidden talents." "Name 3. Making terrible coffee, annoying my board of directors, and—" He pulled her closer, his voice dropping. "Making you scream my name." Isla's face went scarlet. "Damien!" "What? It's true. You're impossible. You love it." And God help her, she did. The kitchen was bright with morning sunlight. Isla sat at the marble island, wrapped in Damien's dress shirt from last night, watching him cook. And he actually could cook. He transferred to a specialized wheelchair setup in the kitchen, lower counters, accessible appliances, and was making pancakes with surprising competence. "Where did you learn to do this?" Isla asked, mesmerized. "After the accident, physical therapy included learning how to be independent." He flipped a pancake expertly. "Including cooking." "You're good at it." "I'm good at most things. Modest, too." He grinned. "One of my many charms." Isla laughed, pulling her knees up to her chest. She felt happy, genuinely, unexpectedly happy. Damien plated the pancakes and rolled over to her, setting the plate down with a flourish. "Breakfast, my lady." "Why, thank you, kind sir." They ate in comfortable silence for a moment. Then Isla's phone buzzed on the counter. She glanced at it, and her stomach dropped. "Dad." "I heard about the gala." "Call me." Damien noticed her expression change. "What's wrong?" "My father. He wants to talk." His jaw tightened. "About what?" Probably to make sure I'm playing my part, keeping up appearances. Her voice turned bitter. Making sure his debt stays paid. You don't have to call him. Yes, I do. Isla, he's still my dad, Damien, even if he's a mess. She set down her fork. I should go, get dressed, deal with this. She started to slide off the stool, but Damien caught her hand. Hey, he said softly, whatever he says, remember, you're doing this for you now, not just for him. Her eyes stung. Am I? Yes, because you deserve this. The security, the life, he hesitated. The chance to be happy. With you? If you want. She leaned down and kissed him. I want. Good, now go. Call your father. I'll be here when you're done. Promise? Promise. Isla sat on her bed, phone pressed to her ear, listening to her father's voice and hating every second of it. And people are talking, Isla, saying you look beautiful at the gala, that Damien seems stable. Her father's voice was eager, relieved. This is good. This is really good. I'm glad you approve, Isla said flatly. Don't be like that. Like what? Honest? Ungrateful. His tone sharpened. I got you this opportunity. Remember? A chance to marry into one of the richest families in the country. Do you know how many girls would kill for... I didn't want this. Isla's voice cracked. I didn't want to be sold off like property to fix your mistakes. Silence. Then quietly, is it really that bad, being married to him? Isla closed her eyes. No, she admitted. It's not. Then what's the problem? The problem is I'm falling for him, and this was supposed to be fake, and now everything is complicated and terrifying. There's no problem, she lied. I'm just adjusting. Good, because the debt is almost clear. Just need you to keep this up for another year or so. And a year? Isla's eyes flew open. You said 6 months. Things changed. The interest? You're still gambling, aren't you? Silence. Dad, tell me you're not still gambling. It's under control. It's never under control, she stood pacing. You promised you'd stop. I will, after this. I just need... You always need something. Tears streamed down her face. When is it going to be enough? When do I get to stop saving you? Isla, I have to go. Wait. She hung up and immediately burst into tears. Isla didn't hear the door open, didn't realize Damien was there until she felt his hand on her shoulder. She looked up, eyes red and swollen. Hey, he said softly. Come here. I'm fine. You're crying. You're not fine. He held out his arms. Come here, please. She slid off the bed and into his lap, curling against his chest like a child. Damien held her while she cried, one hand stroking her hair, the other rubbing soothing circles on her back. He's still gambling, Isla finally said, her voice muffled against his shirt. I know. You know? I had him investigated. After we got married, I wanted to know what I was dealing with. She pulled back to look at him. And you didn't tell me? I was going to, but you seemed so determined to save him. I didn't want to. He sighed. I didn't want to hurt you. He's never going to stop, is he? Probably not. Fresh tears fell. I've been sacrificing everything for nothing. Not nothing, Damien said firmly. You got me. She laughed through her tears. That's quite an ego you've got there. I'm serious. You didn't just get trapped in a marriage, Isla. You got a partnership, a home, and... His voice softened. Someone who's falling for you so hard it's terrifying. Her breath caught. What? I'm falling for you, he repeated, meeting her eyes. I didn't mean to. I didn't want to. But I am. Damien, you don't have to say it back. I just needed you to know, because whatever your father does, whatever debt he racks up, you're not doing this alone anymore. You have me. Isla kissed him desperately, pouring all her fear and gratitude and growing love into it. When they broke apart, she whispered,
If you're enjoying the story so far, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow and lets me keep bringing you more amazing love stories. All right, back to the story.
I'm falling for you too. His eyes closed in relief. Thank God, even though you're grumpy. I'm not grumpy. And bossy, that's called being decisive. And you make terrible coffee. I'm working on it. She laughed, wiping her eyes. What do we do now? Now? Damien's expression turned serious. Now we deal with your father, properly. What do you mean? I mean I pay off his debt. All of it. Today. Isla's eyes widened. You can't. I can and I will. But there's a condition. What condition? He gets help, real help, gambling addiction therapy, and he stays away from you until he's clean. He'll never agree to that. Then he doesn't get the money. Damien's voice was steel. I'm not enabling him, Isla, and I'm not letting him use you anymore. She stared at him. You'd do that? For me? I'd do anything for you. And she believed him. 2 days later, Damien had to face the board, and he insisted Isla come with him. Why? She'd asked, nervous. Because you're my wife, and I want them to see that I'm stable, happy, committed. But please, he'd said, I need you there. So now she sat in the corner of the boardroom, dressed in a simple but elegant navy dress that Margot had helped her pick out, watching her husband command the room. And God, he was magnificent. Despite the wheelchair, despite the skeptical looks from several board members, Damien exuded power and confidence. The merger is a mistake, he said, his voice cutting through the murmurs. I've run the numbers 6 different ways. We'll lose money in the first 2 quarters, and the long-term projections are even worse. Richard Chen, the board member from the gala, leaned forward. With all due respect, Damien, your judgment has been questionable lately. Damien's eyes narrowed. Explain. This sudden marriage, your erratic behavior, the way I've been what, Richard? Damien's voice was dangerous. Say it. Richard shifted uncomfortably. Unstable. I'm not unstable. I'm competent. More competent than any of you. Are you? An older woman, Patricia something, asked coolly. Because from where we're sitting, it looks like you rushed into a marriage with a girl half your age to prove a point. Isla's cheeks burned. Damien's jaw clenched. My wife's age is irrelevant. Is it? Because she looks like she should be in college, not running a household. She's not running anything, Richard added. She's clearly here as decoration. That did it. Isla stood. Every head turned to her. Excuse me, she said, her voice shaking slightly, but I'm sitting right here. If you're going to insult me, at least have the decency to do it to my face. Patricia's eyebrows rose. Mrs. Hawthorne, I know what you all think, that I'm some gold digger who trapped Damien, that I'm too young, too inexperienced, too beneath him. Her hands clenched. And maybe you're right. Maybe I am all those things. But I'm also the reason he's happy for the first time in 2 years. Silence. You want to talk about stability? Isla continued. Let's talk about how Damien works 16-hour days because he's trying to prove he's still capable, how he barely sleeps because he's haunted by the accident, how he pushes everyone away because he's terrified of being seen as weak. Damien's expression was unreadable. But he's not weak, Isla said firmly. He's the strongest person I know. And if you can't see that, if all you see is the wheelchair, then you're the ones who are unfit to run this company. She sat down, heart racing. The boardroom was dead silent. Then Damien said quietly, meeting adjourned. But we haven't voted. I said adjourned. His voice left no room for argument. Get out. They filed out quickly, several casting nervous glances at Isla. When the room was finally empty, Damien turned to her. That was, he started, stupid, impulsive, career-ending, incredible. He rolled over to her. You just eviscerated my entire board. I'm sorry. Don't apologize. That was the sexiest thing I've ever seen. Isla laughed shakily. Really? Really? He pulled her down into his lap. You defended me. Of course I did. They were being horrible. Most people don't stand up for me. They either pity me or use me. I'm not most people. No, he agreed, cupping her face. You're definitely not. He kissed her, deep and possessive. When they broke apart, Isla asked, Did I just make things worse for you? Probably. Damien. But I don't care. His eyes were intense. Let them think what they want. I have you. And that's all that matters. Her heart melted. You're going soft. Only for you? The fallout was immediate. By that evening, the story had leaked. Damien Hawthorne's wife defends him in explosive board meeting. Is the new Mrs. Hawthorne a gold digger or genuine? Sources say board members question Damien's judgment. Isla sat on the couch in Damien's study. She'd been spending more and more time there, scrolling through the headlines on her phone with growing horror. Stop reading that, Damien said from his desk. I can't. It's everywhere. It's gossip. It doesn't matter. It matters to me. She looked up, eyes stinging. They're saying I'm using you, that I'm too young, that I'm... Her voice cracked. That I'm not good enough for you. Damien immediately rolled over to her. You know that's not true. Do I? Isla, look at us, Damien. Really look. She gestured between them. You're a billionaire. You went to Oxford. You run an empire. And I'm a college dropout who worked in a bookstore. So? So they're right. I don't belong in your world. You belong with me. His voice was fierce. I don't care about the rest. But I do. I care that people think I'm a joke, that they think our marriage is a joke. Then we prove them wrong. How? Damien took her hands. By being us. By being real. By not hiding. I'm scared. I know. So am I. She looked at him, surprised. You're scared. Terrified. Of losing you. Of this becoming too much. Of you waking up one day and realizing you made a mistake. I didn't make a mistake. Neither did I. He pulled her into his arms. We'll get through this. Together. Isla wanted to believe him, but the fear lingered. The next morning, Isla found Vivian waiting for her in the sitting room. Her stomach dropped. Mrs. Hawthorne. Sit, Vivian said, gesturing to the sofa. Isla sat. Vivian poured tea, precise, controlled movements, and handed Isla a cup. I read the news, Vivian said. Of course you did. And I want you to know something. Isla braced herself. You did well, Vivian said. Isla blinked. What? At the board meeting, standing up for Damien. Vivian's expression softened almost imperceptibly. That took courage. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. Vivian set down her cup. The media will get worse before it gets better. They'll dig into your past, your father's gambling, your mother's illness, everything. Isla's chest tightened. I know. Are you prepared for that? I don't know. Honest answer. Vivian studied her. Oh, most people would lie. I'm not most people. No, you're not. Vivian leaned forward. I misjudged you, Isla. I thought you were a fortune hunter, a silly girl who got lucky. And now I see a woman who genuinely cares for my grandson, who makes him happy. Her voice caught slightly. I haven't seen him happy since before the accident. Tears pricked Isla's eyes. I do care for him, more than I thought possible. Good, because he needs you. He's stronger than everyone thinks. I know, but strength doesn't mean he doesn't need support. Vivian's gaze was piercing. Are you prepared to give him that, even when it's hard, even when the world is watching and judging? Isla thought about Damien's laugh, his smile, the way he held her at night like she was something precious. Yes, she said firmly. I am. Vivian smiled, a real smile. Then you have my support and my protection. Why? Because family protects family. And whether this marriage started as a business arrangement or not, Vivian reached over and patted Isla's hand. Your family now. Isla had been looking for Damien all morning. He wasn't in his office, wasn't in the library, wasn't in his bedroom, though she'd been spending every night there for the past week. Finally, she heard sounds coming from the gym. She pushed open the door and froze. Damien was on the parallel bars, not in his wheelchair, not sitting, standing, sort of. His arms bore most of his weight, muscles straining, jaw clenched with effort. A woman in medical scrubs, his physical therapist, Isla realized, stood beside him, hands hovering, ready to assist. Now, 3 more steps, the therapist said. You can do it. Damien's face was tight with pain and determination. He moved, one agonizing step, then another. Isla's hand flew to her mouth. On the 3rd step, his legs gave out. The therapist caught him, helping him back into his wheelchair. Damn it, Damien growled. You did well today, better than last week. It's not enough. Progress is progress. He noticed Isla then. His expression shuddered immediately. How long have you been standing there? His voice was cold. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Leave. The therapist cleared her throat. I'll give you 2 some privacy. She left quickly. Isla stepped into the room. Why didn't you tell me? Tell you what? That you're doing physical therapy, that you're trying to. She gestured at the parallel bars. And it doesn't matter. Of course it matters. No, it doesn't. His voice rose. Because I'm not going to walk again. The doctors made that clear. This is just pathetic denial. It's not pathetic, it's hope. Hope is for people who have a chance. Isla's heart broke. Damien, I don't want your pity. I'm not pitying you. I'm proud of you. That stopped him. What? You're fighting, even when it hurts, even when everyone tells you it's impossible. You're still fighting. Tears streamed down her face. That's not pathetic. That's heroic. Damien stared at her, something raw and vulnerable in his eyes. I'm terrified, he admitted quietly, of hoping, of trying, of failing. Then be terrified, but don't stop trying. Why? Because you deserve to fight for yourself. She walked closer. And because I'll be here, whether you walk again or not, whether you succeed or fail, I'll be here. His hands trembled on the armrests. Promise? I promise. He reached for her, pulling her into his lap, burying his face against her neck. I don't deserve you, he whispered. Yes, you do. I'm broken. You're healing. He held her tighter. I love you. The words hung in the air. Isla pulled back to look at him. What? I love you, he repeated, meeting her eyes. I know it's too soon. I know we barely know each other. But I do. I love you. Her heart exploded. I love you too. He kissed her desperately, like she was air and he was drowning. When they broke apart, both breathless, Damien said, This is real now. Completely real. It was always real, Isla whispered. Yet we were just too scared to admit it. I'm still scared. Me too. But you'll stay. I'll stay. That night they lay in Damien's bed, which had officially become their bed, in comfortable silence. Isla was reading one of her romance novels. Damien was reviewing company reports on his tablet, reading glasses perched on his nose. Isla had discovered he needed glasses for reading and had nearly died from how attractive they made him. This is nice, Isla said softly. This, just being together. No drama, no pressure. Damien set down his tablet and looked at her. It is nice. Can I ask you something? Always. Do you ever regret it? Marrying me? He was quiet for a moment. No, never. Not even when I defended you to the board and made everything worse? Especially not then. He ran his fingers through her hair. Hey, that was the moment I knew. Knew what? That you were it for me. The person I'd been waiting for without realizing it. Isla's eyes stung. You're going to make me cry. Please don't. I'm terrible with crying women. Liar. You held me for an hour last week. That was different. How? That was you. I'd do anything for you. She sat up and kissed him. I love you. I love you too. They made love that night. Slow, tender, learning each other's bodies all over again. And afterward, wrapped in each other's arms, Isla thought, this is what happiness feels like. But she should have known. Happiness never lasts. The next morning, Isla woke to her phone buzzing incessantly. Messages, emails, unknown numbers. Confused, she checked the news, and her world shattered. Breaking misses. The Damien Hawthorne's father caught gambling again. Did his daughter know? Below the headline, photos of her father at a casino, cards in hand, the timestamp, 2 days ago, after Damien had paid off his debt, after her father had promised to get help. Isla's hands shook. There was more. Sources close to the family suggest Isla Monroe married Damien Hawthorne solely to clear her father's gambling debts. She's been using him from the start, one insider claims. No, Isla whispered. No, no, no. Her phone rang. Her father. She answered. What did you do? Isla, I can explain. You promised. Damien paid your debt. He gave you a second chance. And you, her voice broke. How could you? It was just one game. I was going to win it back. There is no winning it back. Well, you're an addict. I'm your father. And I'm done. Tears streamed down her face. I'm done sacrificing my life for yours. I'm done enabling you. I'm done. Isla, she hung up and turned to find Damien in the doorway. His expression was unreadable. Damien, she started. Is it true? His voice was flat. Is what true? Did you know? About your father? What? No, of course not. Because the article says you did. Says you've been playing me from the beginning. That's a lie. Is it? His jaw was tight. Or were you just very good at pretending? Isla's heart shattered. You think I was using you? I don't know what to think. Damien, I love you. Do you? Or do you love what I can give you? His eyes were cold. Money, security, a way out of your father's mess. That's not fair. None of this is fair. He slammed his hand on the armrest. I let you in. I trusted you. I loved you. And now what? Now I don't know if any of it was real. Isla couldn't breathe. It was real. All of it. Prove it. How? I don't know. His voice cracked. But I need time to think. Damien, please. I can't do this right now. He turned his wheelchair toward the door. I need space. Space? For how long? He didn't answer, just rolled away. Leaving Isla standing alone in the foyer, her world crumbling around her. 3 days. It had been 3 days since Damien had walked, rolled away from her. 3 days of silence. 3 days of sleeping in separate rooms. 3 days of Isla's heart breaking a little more each hour. Damien had thrown himself into work, barely leaving his office. When they did see each other, at meals and passing, he was coldly polite, distant, like she was a stranger, like the past weeks had never happened. Now, sitting at opposite ends of the dining table, the silence was suffocating. Damien, Isla said finally, unable to take it anymore. Yes? His voice was flat. Can we please talk about this? There's nothing to talk about. There's everything to talk about. He finally looked at her, and the coldness in his eyes made her flinch. What do you want me to say, Isla? I want you to believe me. I didn't know about my father. I would never, her voice cracked. I would never use you like that. Your father went back to gambling 2 days after I paid his debt. I know. 2 days. I know, and I'm furious, but that's his choice, not mine. Is it? Damien leaned back in his wheelchair. Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like a pattern. He gets in trouble. You save him. He gets in trouble again, and the cycle continues. I cut him off. I told him I was done, after the damage was already done. Tears streamed down her face. What do you want from me? I want the truth. I've given you the truth. Have you? His jaw clenched. Or have you just been very good at playing the part? The sweet, innocent girl who fell for the broken billionaire? That hurt more than anything. Is that really what you think of me? Isla whispered. Damien looked away. I don't know what to think anymore. Isla stood, her chair scraping against the floor. Fine. If you want to believe the worst of me, go ahead. But I'm not going to sit here and be punished for my father's mistakes. She walked out, leaving her dinner untouched. Behind her, she heard Mrs. Chen say quietly, Sir, with all due respect, you're being an idiot. Isla almost smiled. Almost. That night, Isla hit her breaking point. She'd tried everything. She'd shown Damien the text messages where she'd told her father to never contact her again. She'd offered to let him check her bank accounts, proving she hadn't taken money. She'd even offered to sign a post-nuptial agreement giving up any claim to his fortune. Nothing worked. He wouldn't believe her. Or maybe he didn't want to believe her. Maybe it was easier to push her away than to risk being hurt. Isla looked at the suitcase on her bed, half packed with her meager belongings, and felt the weight of the decision pressing down on her. I could leave, she thought. Just walk away. Let him think the worst, prove him right. Her phone buzzed. Gerald. Mrs. Hawthorne, I know it's not my place, but please don't give up on him. He's scared. He's just very good at hiding it. Fresh tears fell. She wanted to fight. God, she wanted to fight for him, for them. But how did you fight someone who'd already made up their mind? A knock at the door. Isla? Not Damien. Vivian. Isla quickly wiped her eyes. Come in. Vivian entered, took one look at Isla on the floor in the half-packed suitcase, and her expression softened. Oh, child, she said quietly. And that kindness, unexpected, genuine, broke the last of Isla's composure. She sobbed. Vivian, elegant and composed even now, sat down on the floor beside her. Actually sat on the floor in her designer suit and pulled Isla into her arms. I know, Vivian murmured. I know it hurts. I didn't know about my father. I believe you. Isla pulled back, shocked. You do? Of course I do. I've been watching you for weeks now. The way you look at him, the way you defend him. Vivian's eyes were kind. That's not someone playing a role. That's someone in love. Then why doesn't he see it? Because he's terrified. Of what? Of being wrong. Vivian sighed. After the accident, everyone he trusted betrayed him in some way. His business partners tried to steal his company. His friends disappeared. Even some family members, she paused, suggested he was better off stepping down, admitting defeat. Isla's chest ached. That's horrible. It hardened him. It made him suspicious of everyone's motives. Vivian took Isla's hands. When you came along, when you started breaking through those walls, it terrified him, because caring about you means risking being hurt again. So he's pushing me away first. Exactly. What do I do? Vivian smiled. You fight for him, even when it's hard, even when he's being impossible. I've tried. Try harder. Vivian's gaze was intense. Show him you're not going anywhere, that you're strong enough to weather his storms. What if it's not enough? It will be, because underneath all that anger and fear, he loves you. Vivian stood, offering her hand. Now stop packing that suitcase and go to war. Isla let herself be pulled to her feet. War? For your marriage, for your husband, for your future. A spark of determination ignited in Esla's chest. Okay, she said. Okay, how do I start? Vivian's smile was sharp. By proving the article wrong, publicly, loudly, and with receipts. 2 days later, Isla held a press conference. Damien didn't know about it. Vivian had arranged everything. The venue, the journalists, even the lawyers to review every statement. Now sitting in front of dozens of reporters, cameras flashing, Isla felt like she might throw up. Mrs. Hawthorne, a journalist called out, is it true you married Damien Hawthorne to clear your father's gambling debts? Isla took a breath. My father did have gambling debts. That's public record. And yes, those debts were part of the reason I agreed to the marriage initially. Murmurs rippled through the room. But, Isla continued firmly, that's not why I stayed married. I stayed because I fell in love with my husband. How convenient, another reporter said snidely. Is it? Isla met their eyes. Is it convenient to love someone the whole world is watching? To have every moment of your private life dissected? To be called a gold digger, a child, someone who's not good enough? Silence. I'm 23 years old, Isla said. I dropped out of college to take care of my dying mother. I worked in a bookstore. I have about $300 in my bank account. She held up her phone, showing her banking app, which you can see right here. I haven't touched a penny of my husband's money. More murmurs. My father relapsed into gambling addiction after my husband generously paid off his debt. I didn't know he was gambling again until I saw it in the news, the same time you all did. When I immediately cut contact with him, she pulled out her phone, displaying text messages. These are my messages to my father. You can see the timestamps. I'm done. Do not contact me again. Get help or lose me forever. She looked up. That doesn't sound like someone conspiring with their father, does it? A female reporter in the front row raised her hand. Mrs. Hawthorne, if you could say one thing to your husband right now, what would it be? Isla's eyes filled with tears. I'd tell him that I love him, that I didn't marry him for his money or his name or his mansion. I married him because even when he was angry and pushing me away, even when he told me this was just a business arrangement, I saw who he really was. Someone kind, someone brilliant, someone fighting every day to prove he's still whole. She wiped her eyes. When I'd tell him that he is whole, that the wheelchair doesn't make him less, that his scars don't make him broken, and that I'm not going anywhere, even if he wants me to. The room was silent. Vivian squeezed her hand under the table. Any other questions? Isla asked. Damien was in his office when Gerald burst in. Sir, you need to see this. I'm busy. It's your wife. She's holding a press conference. Damien's head snapped up. She's what? Gerald turned on the large monitor, pulling up the live stream. And there was Isla, his Isla, sitting in front of dozens of reporters, looking terrified but determined, defending herself, defending him. Damien watched, frozen, as she showed her bank statements, her text messages, her proof. But it was her words that destroyed him. I didn't marry him for his money. And I married him because I saw who he really was. His chest tightened. Someone kind, someone brilliant, someone fighting every day to prove he's still whole. Oh, God. I'd tell him that he is whole, that the wheelchair doesn't make him less. Damien's hand came up to cover his mouth, and that I'm not going anywhere, even if he wants me to. Fuck, he whispered. Sir? Gerald asked quietly. I'm an idiot. Yes, sir, you are. Damien looked at his assistant. She loves me. Yes, sir, she does. And I accused her. His voice broke. Oh God, what have I done? You made a mistake, a big one. Gerald's expression softened. But it's not too late to fix it. How? You go to her, right now, and you grovel. Damien was already moving toward the door. Isla was exhausted. The press conference had drained her emotionally and physically. Yet all she wanted was to go home, crawl into bed, and sleep for a week. Vivian walked beside her down the front steps of the venue. You did beautifully, dear. Thank you for... Isla stopped. At the bottom of the steps, surrounded by journalists and cameras, was Damien. He looked wrecked. His hair was disheveled like he'd run his hands through it repeatedly. His shirt was wrinkled, and his eyes were red. Damien, Isla whispered. He rolled forward, stopping a few feet away from her. I watched your press conference, he said, his voice rough. Oh, all of it. The journalist pressed closer, cameras flashing. Damien, maybe we should... Isla gestured at the crowd. No, they should hear this. He took a breath. I owe you an apology. A massive, public, groveling apology. Isla's heart raced. You don't have to... Yes, I do. His eyes locked on hers. I was wrong. About everything. You showed me proof, gave me evidence, offered to sign away your rights to my money, and I still didn't believe you. Tears streamed down her face. I didn't want to believe you, he continued, because believing you meant admitting I was scared, terrified actually, of loving you, of being hurt, of being wrong about what we had. The crowd was dead silent. But I was wrong about something else, Damien said quietly. I thought I was protecting myself by pushing you away. But all I did was lose the best thing that's ever happened to me. Isla couldn't breathe. You asked me what I'd want you to say, Damien said, and I want you to say you'll forgive me, that you'll give me another chance, that you'll come home. Home? She whispered. With me? Where you belong. His voice cracked. Because I love you, Isla. I love your loud laugh and your terrible taste in romance novels, and the way you eat sandwiches with too much jelly. I love how you defend me, even when I'm being an ass. I love that you see me, really see me. Not the wheelchair or the money or the broken parts. Just me. Isla was full-on sobbing now. So I'm asking you, Damien said, in front of all these cameras and journalists and the entire internet, will you forgive me? Will you come home? Will you give me another chance to be the husband you deserve? The world held its breath. Isla walked down the steps slowly. Damien's eyes never left hers. When she reached him, she knelt down so they were eye level. You're an idiot, she said. I know. You hurt me. I know. And I'm so sorry. And you're going to have to work really hard to make this up to me. A smile tugged at his lips. I'm prepared to grovel extensively. Good, she cupped his face. Because I love you too. Even when you're impossible. Even when you're scared. Even when you push me away. Isla, but don't ever doubt me again, she said firmly. Don't ever doubt us. Because I'm not going anywhere. You're stuck with me. Promise? Promise. He pulled her into his arms and kissed her. The crowd erupted. Cameras flashed. Journalists shouted questions. Someone started clapping, but Damien and Isla didn't care. They were lost in each other. When they finally broke apart, Damien whispered against her lips. Take me home. Our home, she corrected. Our home, he agreed. Back at the mansion, they dismissed the staff for the evening, and they needed to be alone, to talk. Really talk. Now sitting on their bed finally, Isla held Damien's hand and waited. I'm sorry, he said again. I don't know how many times I need to say it. I know you are, but I need to understand why. Why you were so quick to believe the worst. Damien was quiet for a long moment. Then, after the accident, my fiancé left me. Isla's eyes widened. You were engaged? For 2 years. Catherine, you met her at the gala, actually. The woman with the diamonds who called you unexpected. That witch was your ex. Despite everything, Damien smiled slightly. Yes. What happened? The accident happened. I woke up in the hospital, paralyzed, my parents dead. And his jaw clenched. She visited once, looked at me in the wheelchair, and said, I can't do this. I'm sorry. I thought I could, but I can't. Isla's heart shattered. Damien, she left the ring on my hospital tray and walked out. I never saw her again. That's horrible. It gets worse. 3 months later, I found out she'd been cheating on me for a year before the accident. With Richard Chen. The board member? Yes, they're married now. Oh my God. So when the article came out about your father, Damien said quietly, and it suggested you'd been using me, all I could think was, not again. Not another person who pretended to love me for what I could give them. Isla squeezed his hand. I'm not her. I know that now. I think I knew it then too. But I was scared. Of being hurt again. Of being wrong. Of trusting the wrong person again. He looked away. Of being the fool who fell for another beautiful woman who was just playing a role. I wasn't playing a role, Isla said firmly. What I feel for you is real. So real it terrifies me sometimes. His eyes met hers. It terrifies me too. Then let's be terrified together. He pulled her into his arms, holding her like she might disappear. I'll spend the rest of my life making this up to you, he promised. You don't have to. Yes, I do. I hurt you. I doubted you. I pushed you away when you needed me most. And I forgave you. I don't deserve it. Too bad. You're stuck with my forgiveness. She pulled back to look at him. But Damien, we need to talk about trust. Real trust. Because I can't go through this again. If something bothers you, you talk to me. Once you don't shut me out. You're right. And you can't assume the worst every time something goes wrong. I know. I'm serious. This only works if we're a team, if we trust each other. I trust you, he said quietly. I do. I just needed to trust myself, my judgment, my feelings, and I'm working on that. Okay. She leaned her forehead against his. We'll work on it together. Together, he agreed. They sat in silence for a moment, just breathing each other in. Then Damien said, I have something for you. What? He reached into the drawer of his nightstand and pulled out a small box. Isla's breath caught. Damien, it's not what you think. He opened the box. Inside was a key. A key? Isla asked. To the library. Your library now, too. His expression was tender. I had a section cleared. For your books. Your favorites. And there's a reading nook with your name on it. Literally, I had it engraved. Tears filled her eyes. When did you do this? The day after our fight. I was angry and hurt and trying to push you away. But I couldn't stop thinking about you. About us. So he shrugged. I made you a space. Because even when I was being an idiot, I knew you belonged here. With me. Isla launched herself at him, kissing him desperately. I love you, she said between kisses. I love you so much. I love you too. Don't ever forget it. Never. Later, after they'd ordered pizza, the greasy kind from 5th Street, and eaten it in bed like college kids, Damien said quietly, There's something else I need to tell you about the accident. Isla set down her pizza. Okay. The night it happened, the night my parents died, we were arguing. About what? About the company. About my future. They wanted me to get married, settle down, take over fully. I wanted to wait, to build my own path first. His voice was strained. I was angry, frustrated, and I was driving too fast. Damien, we were on our way to a charity gala. It was raining. The roads were slick. And he closed his eyes. I lost control. We crashed into a barrier. The car flipped. Isla's heart ached. My parents died on impact. I was trapped in the wreckage for 2 hours before they could get me out. By the time they did, his voice broke. The damage was done. Spinal cord injury, T11 complete, no feeling, no movement from the waist down. Oh, Damien, it was my fault, he whispered. I was driving. I was angry. I was going too fast. If I'd been more careful. Stop. Isla took his face in her hands. It was an accident, a horrible, tragic accident. But it wasn't your fault. I killed my parents. No, you didn't. The crash did. The rain did. Fate did. But you didn't. I can't. I can't forgive myself. Then let me help you. Tears streamed down her face. Let me carry some of this with you, because you don't have to do it alone anymore. He pulled her into his arms and sobbed. Actually sobbed. Deep, wrenching cries that had clearly been building for 2 years. Isla held him through it all, whispering comfort, stroking his hair, being his anchor. When he finally quieted, he said hoarsely, I've never told anyone that. About the argument, about feeling responsible. Not even your therapist? I stopped going to therapy. He couldn't face it. Maybe it's time to go back. He pulled away to look at her. You think so? I think you're carrying trauma that's too heavy for one person, even someone as strong as you. She squeezed his hand. And I think healing means asking for help. Will you come with me to therapy? If you want me to. I do. He took a shaky breath. I want to be better. For you. For us. For myself. Then we'll do it together. He kissed her forehead. How did I get so lucky? You proposed with zero romance and called me 12 years old on our wedding day. I'm not sure lucky is the word. He laughed, genuine surprised laughter. Fair point. But, Isla continued, you also make me feel safe and seen and loved. So maybe we're both lucky. Maybe we are. That night they made love differently, slower, deeper, with a vulnerability neither had allowed before. Isla had lit candles around the room, something romantic and soft that she'd been too shy to do before. Now as Damien's hands traced her body with reverent care, she felt treasured. I missed you, he murmured against her skin. These past few days, I miss this. Missed you. I'm here now. Don't leave again. Never. He kissed her deeply, pouring all his apology, all his love into the kiss. When he pulled back, his eyes were intense. I need you to know, when I touch you like this, when we're together, this isn't about the physical. It's about us, about connecting, about loving each other, Isla finished. Yes, she guided his hand to her heart. I know. I feel it too. They took their time, learning each other all over again. Damien explored every inch of her skin, discovering what made her sigh, what made her gasp, what made her moan his name. And when they finally came together, moving as one, breathless and desperate, and so deeply connected, Ixela understood. This wasn't just sex. This was communion. This was two broken people making each other whole. Afterward, wrapped in each other's arms, Damien whispered, Thank you. For what? For fighting for us, for not giving up, for seeing me. Isla kissed his chest, right over his heart. Always. Isla woke to sunshine and the feeling of being completely safe. Damien's arm was wrapped around her waist. His chest was pressed against her back. His breath was warm on her neck. You're awake, he murmured. How did you know? Your breathing changed. She turned in his arms to face him. That's creepy. That's observant. Same thing. He smiled and God. She loved that smile. How do you feel? Happy, scared, hopeful? That's a lot of feelings. I'm a complicated woman. You're perfect. Now you're just trying to get lucky again. His eyes darkened. Is it working? Maybe. He kissed her, slow and sweet. When they broke apart, Isla said, we should probably get up, face the day, deal with the fallout from yesterday. Or, Damien suggested, we could stay in bed for another hour. Let the world wait. Tempting. I'm very persuasive. You're very naked. Also true. Isla laughed. Okay, one more hour. But then we face reality. Deal. They didn't make it an hour. 20 minutes later, Mrs. Chen knocked urgently on the door. Mr. Hawthorne, Mrs. Hawthorne, you need to see this. Damien groaned. What now? They threw on clothes quickly and followed Mrs. Chen to the study, which she turned on the television. And there on every major news channel was footage from yesterday's press conference. But it wasn't just the conference. Someone had compiled clips. Isla's emotional speech, Damien's public apology, their kiss on the steps, the headline, Modern Love Story, Billionaire and his wife prove love is real. Isla stared. Are they calling us a love story? Damien finished, looking equally shocked. Another channel, Damien Hawthorne's public apology breaks the internet. Most romantic moment of the year? Oh my God, Isla whispered. Damien's phone started buzzing, then hers, then the house phone. It's the board, Gerald announced, appearing in the doorway. They want to schedule an emergency meeting. Damien's jaw tightened. Tell them. They want to congratulate you, Gerald interrupted, smiling. And apparently your approval ratings have skyrocketed. Stock prices are up, and social media is calling you relationship goals. Isla started laughing. Damien looked at her like she'd lost her mind. What's so funny? We broke the internet by accident, by just... She gestured between them. Being us. A slow smile spread across his face. We did, didn't we? Apparently, honesty and vulnerability are trending. Who knew? They looked at each other and started laughing. Genuine, relieved, slightly hysterical laughter. So, Isla said when she caught her breath, what now? Damien pulled her into his arms. Now we live our lives, together, publicly, messily, honestly. I can do that. Good. He kissed her forehead. Because I'm not letting you go again. Ever. Promise? Promise. That evening, Isla found her reading nook in the library, and it was perfect. A window seat with plush cushions, built-in bookshelves already stocked with her favorite titles. Soft lighting, a small brass plaque that read, Ila's Corner, where stories come to life. She turned to Damien, tears in her eyes. This is beautiful. You like it? I love it. He rolled over to her. There's more. More? He handed her a folder. Isla opened it and gasped. Is this a business proposal for a bookstore? His eyes were bright. Your bookstore, the one you always dreamed of. I found a location downtown. Had my lawyers draw up the paperwork. It's yours if you want it. Damien, I can't. Yes, you can. You said you wanted to own a bookstore someday. Something small and cozy. And with a cat. You remembered the cat? I remember everything you tell me. Isla threw her arms around him. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're welcome. Though I should warn you. What? I may have already adopted a cat. She's in the kitchen with Mrs. Chen. Orange tabby. Very opinionated. Isla pulled back. You adopted a cat? You said you wanted one. But you didn't ask. I know. I'm bossy. We've established this. She kissed him. You're perfect. I'm really not. You're perfect for me, he smiled. That I'll accept. They sat together in the library. Isla with her books, Damien with his laptop, the cat whom they'd named Darcy, after Pride and Prejudice, curled up between them. And for the first time since this whole crazy journey began, Isla felt it. Home. Not the mansion, not the money, not the life she'd never imagined, but Damien, the man who'd pushed her away and pulled her close, who'd doubted her and then trusted her, who'd shown her his worst and let her love him anyway. He was home, and as the sun set over the city, casting golden light through the library windows, Isla knew this was only the beginning. 3 months had passed since the press conference that changed everything. 3 months of healing, growing, learning to trust again. And now Isla stood in her very own bookstore, watching the morning sun stream through the windows, and felt a contentment she'd never known possible. Monroe and Hawthorne Books had opened 2 months ago to surprising success. The story of the billionaire's wife who just wanted to sell books had captured public imagination, and people came from all over the city to visit. But Isla had made it clear from day one, this wasn't a publicity stunt. This was her dream, her space, her rules. The store was cozy and welcoming, everything the cold, sterile mansion wasn't. Comfortable chairs, coffee from the cafe next door, reading nooks tucked into corners, and books. So many books. "Excuse me?" a customer said, pulling Isla from her thoughts. "Do you have any recommendations for romance novels? Something with a strong heroine?" Isla smiled. "I have just the thing." As she helped the customer, she glanced out the window. Damien was there, as he was most mornings, in his wheelchair outside the shop, supposedly working, but really just keeping an eye on her. He'd become protective, not controlling. They'd worked on that in therapy, but present, supportive. Her husband, her real husband. The bell above the door chimed. Aaron and Isla looked up, expecting another customer. Instead, Catherine walked in. Isla's smile froze. Damien's ex-fiancée stood in the doorway, looking immaculate as always in designer clothes and perfect makeup. But there was something different in her expression. Nervousness? "Isla," Catherine said, "do you have a moment?" Isla led Catherine to a quiet corner, her mind racing. What is she doing here? They sat in the reading chairs Isla had picked out herself, comfortable, inviting, meant for customers to lose themselves in books. Now they felt like an interrogation room. "What do you want, Catherine?" Isla asked, keeping her voice neutral. Catherine twisted her hands in her lap. "I need to talk to you about Damien, about Richard, about—" She took a breath. "About a lot of things." "I'm listening." "First, I want to apologize." Isla blinked. For what?" "For what I said at the gala, about you being unexpected, about your age." Catherine's eyes were sincere. It was cruel and jealous and wrong. "Why were you jealous?" "Because you have what I threw away." Catherine looked down. "I loved Damien once, or I thought I did. And then the accident happened, and her voice cracked. "I panicked. I couldn't handle it. Seeing him like that, broken and angry and hurting. So I ran." Isla's chest tightened. "He told me." "Did he tell you I've regretted it every day since?" "No." "Well, I have." Catherine met her eyes. "I married Richard thinking I'd be happy, thinking money and status were enough. But they're not. He's cold, calculating, and he doesn't love me." "Not really." "Catherine, why are you telling me this?" "Because Richard is planning something. Something that could hurt Damien, and by extension, hurt you." Isla's blood ran cold. "What kind of something?" "He's been working with several other board members. They want to force Damien out of the company, declare him unfit. Use his," she gestured vaguely, "his condition as evidence that he can't lead." "That's insane. Damien is the best thing the company has. I know, but Richard has been gathering evidence. Damien's supposed erratic behavior, the rushed marriage, the media circus. He's building a case. Why are you warning me? Catherine's eyes filled with tears. Because I owe Damien that much. And because, she swallowed hard, because what you two have is real. I can see it. The way he looks at you, the way you defend him. That's love, real love. And I don't want Richard to destroy it. Isla's mind raced. When is this happening? Next week, emergency board meeting. They're going to call for a vote of no confidence. Does Damien know? I don't think so. Richard has been careful. Isla stood. I need to tell him. Wait. Catherine grabbed her hand. There's more. What? Richard has been investigating your father. He knows about the gambling relapse, and he's planning to use it against you both, to suggest that Damien's judgment is compromised because of you. Fury flooded through Isla. That bastard. I know. I'm sorry. I should have warned you sooner, but Catherine's voice broke. I was scared. Richard is vindictive. If he finds out I told you, he won't, Isla said firmly. Thank you for warning me. Catherine stood. For what it's worth, Damien is lucky to have you. Don't let Richard take that away. After Catherine left, Isla immediately texted Damien. Isla, we need to talk, now. It's urgent. His reply was instant. Damien, coming inside. 2 hours later, the bookstore had transformed into a war room. Damien had called Vivian immediately. His grandmother had arrived within 30 minutes, along with the family lawyer and Gerald. Now they sat around a table, planning their counterattack. Richard Chen, Vivian said, her voice dripping with contempt. I should have seen this coming. He's always been ambitious. And vindictive, Damien added. This is personal for him. It's not just about the company. It's about proving he made the right choice, that I'm the one who's broken. You're not broken, Isla said firmly, squeezing his hand. I know, but on paper, rushed marriage, media scandals, emotional outbursts, it looks bad. The lawyer, a sharp-eyed woman named Margaret, flipped through documents. They're building a case based on perception, not reality, but perception can be powerful with a board. So we change the perception, Isla said. Everyone looked at her. How? Damien asked. We show them the truth, not the media version, not the gossip, the real numbers, the real success. Isla leaned forward. Damien, what have your company's profits been over the last 3 months? Up 17%. And stock prices? At an all-time high. Exactly. So we compile every metric, every success, every piece of evidence that proves Damien is the best leader that company has ever had. She looked at Margaret. Can we do that? Absolutely. And we go on the offensive, Vivian added, a sharp smile on her face. Richard wants to play dirty? We show the board his failures, his questionable deals, the clients he's lost. Damien shook his head. I don't want to destroy him. Why not? Vivian demanded. He's trying to destroy you. Because that's not who I am. Damien met his grandmother's eyes. I want to win on merit, not by tearing someone else down. Isla's heart swelled with pride. That's very noble, Margaret said carefully, but noble doesn't always win board battles. Then we make it win, Isla said. We show the board that Damien isn't just profitable, he's the future, the kind of leader people want to work for, someone with integrity. Vivian studied Isla with newfound respect. You've got fire in you, girl. I'm protecting my husband. Good. He needs it. Vivian turned to Damien. She's right. We fight smart, but we fight clean. I'll show them you're better than Richard in every way that matters. Damien nodded slowly. Okay, let's do it. They worked late into the night, building their case, and when they finally went home, exhausted but determined, Isla said quietly, "We're going to win this." "How do you know?" "Because you're you, and you don't back down from a fight." He pulled her close. "Neither do you." 3 days before the board meeting, something incredible happened. Isla had started joining Damien for his physical therapy sessions. She'd sit in the corner, reading or working on bookstore business, just being present. Today, his therapist, Dr. Sarah Chen, no relation to Richard, thank God, had a new exercise planned. "I want you to try standing today," Dr. Chen said. "Not just holding yourself up, actually bearing weight on your legs." Damien's jaw tightened. "We've tried that. It doesn't work." "We tried it 3 months ago. Your upper body strength has increased significantly since then, and your core stability has improved. I think you're ready. Sarah, trust me." Damien looked at Isla. She gave him an encouraging nod. "Okay," he said. "Let's try." They positioned him at the parallel bars, the same setup Isla had seen weeks ago, but this time was different. Dr. Chen guided him through the positioning. Isla stood at the end of the bars, ready to catch him if needed. "On three," Dr. Chen said. "1, 2, 3. Damien pushed. His arms strained, his jaw clenched. Veins stood out on his neck. And slowly, agonizingly slowly, he rose. His legs trembled beneath him, taking some of the weight. Not all of it, not even most of it, but some. "Holy shit," Damien breathed. "Language," Dr. Chen said, smiling. "Now, one step." "I can't." "Yes, you can. One step. Just one." Damien's eyes found Isla's. She nodded, tears already streaming down her face. He moved. 1 foot. Forward. Barely lifting off the ground, but moving. Then the other foot. "That's 2 steps," Dr. Chen said, her voice thick with emotion. "Keep going." 3 steps. 4. 5. On the 6th step, his legs gave out. Both Isla and Dr. Chen caught him, easing him back into his wheelchair. Damien sat there breathing hard, looking stunned. I walked." "You walked," Dr. Chen confirmed, wiping her own eyes. "I actually—" His voice cracked. "Oh my God!" Isla launched herself at him, throwing her arms around him, sobbing. "You did it! You actually did it!" He held her tight, his own tears falling. "I walked. 6 steps. It's not much. It's everything." She pulled back to look at him. "Do you understand what this means?" "It means I'm making progress. Slow progress, but it means you never gave up. It means you were right to keep trying. It means—" Her voice broke. "It means you're amazing." He cupped her face, wiping her tears with his thumbs. "I couldn't have done it without you." "Yes, you could have." "No." His eyes were intense. "You gave me a reason to fight, a reason to hope. You." They kissed, both crying, both overwhelmed. Dr. Chen cleared her throat. "I'll just give you two a moment." When they were alone, Damien said quietly, "I want to try again, at the board meeting." Isla's eyes widened. "What?" "I want to stand during my presentation, show them I'm not broken, that I'm fighting, that I'm—" "That's risky." "Mate, what if it doesn't work? What if you fall?" "Then I fall." His jaw was set. "But I want them to see me try. I want Richard to see that I'm not the broken man he thinks I am." Isla studied him. "Are you sure?" "I'm sure." "Then I'll be right there. Front row, ready to catch you if you need me." "I know you will." He pulled her back into his arms. "You always are." The night before the board meeting, neither of them could sleep. They lay in bed, facing each other in the darkness, fingers intertwined. "Are you nervous?" Isla asked softly. "Terrified." "Me too. What if it goes wrong? What if I fall? What if they vote me out anyway? Then we fight back. We find another way. We, she squeezed his hand. We survive. Together. Damien brought her hand to his lips, kissing her knuckles. I don't deserve you. We've been over this. Yes, like you do. I'm serious. You could have walked away so many times. When I was cruel at our wedding, when I pushed you away after the article, when my life became a media circus, but you stayed. Because I love you. Why? She smiled in the darkness. You want a list? Yes. Okay. I love you because you're brilliant. Because you make me laugh even when you're trying to be serious. Because you bought me a bookstore when I mentioned it once in passing. Because you adopted a cat even though you're allergic. I'm not allergic. You sneeze every time Darcy sits on your lap. That's coincidental. Sure it is. She moved closer. I love you because you're brave. Because you stand up for what's right even when it's hard. Because you're fighting every day to be better, stronger, whole. I'm not whole. Yes, you are. You just can't see it yet. She pressed her hand to his chest over his heart. This is whole. This is everything. He pulled her into his arms, burying his face in her hair. What if I lose tomorrow? Then you lose, but you don't lose me. You don't lose us. You don't lose what we built. The company is everything I have left of my parents. No. Isla pulled back to look at him. Their love is what you have left. And that's in you. Not in some boardroom or company title. It's in your heart. In the way you honor them by being the man they raised. Damien's eyes filled with tears. How are you always so wise? I read a lot of romance novels. They're very educational. He laughed through his tears. I love you so much. I love you too. They made love that night, tender and desperate and deeply emotional. Both knowing that tomorrow could change everything, but also knowing that no matter what happened, they had this, each other. Afterward, wrapped in each other's arms, Damien whispered, Thank you. For what? For being my safe place. Isla kissed his shoulder. Always. The boardroom was packed, not just the usual board members, but executives, department heads, even some major shareholders. Richard had made sure this would be a spectacle. Damien rolled into the room, and every head turned. Isla followed close behind, taking a seat in the back row of observers. Vivian sat beside her, regal and intimidating. Gentlemen, ladies, Damien said, his voice cutting through the murmurs. Let's begin. Richard stood. Actually, Damien, before we start the regular agenda, several board members have requested an emergency discussion. Regarding your fitness to lead this company, murmurs rippled through the room. Damien's expression didn't change. Interesting. Proceed. Richard smiled, cold and calculating. Over the past 6 months, your behavior has become increasingly erratic. A rushed marriage to a woman half your age, multiple media scandals, emotional outbursts, and most concerning, questionable judgment calls that have put this company at risk, such as the merger you refused, the restructuring you implemented without board approval, the merger that would have lost us millions in the first 2 quarters, Damien interrupted. The restructuring that increased our efficiency by 23%? Those questionable calls? Richard's smile tightened. The board has concerns. The board, Damien said coldly, should be more concerned about profit margins, which, if you'll check the reports, are at an all-time high. He nodded to Gerald, who distributed folders to each board member. In the 6 months since I rushed into marriage, Damien continued, our stock prices have increased 17%. We've acquired 3 major clients. Employee satisfaction is up. Shareholder returns are the highest they've been in a decade. That's, Richard sputtered. That's leadership, Damien finished. Which brings me to your other concern, my fitness. He gripped the armrests of his wheelchair and stood. The room gasped. Isla's heart stopped. Damien stood, trembling, clearly struggling, but standing, using the strength in his arms and the progress in his legs to hold himself upright. "You think I'm broken," he said, his voice shaking with effort and emotion. "You think the wheelchair makes me weak, incapable, unfit." He took a step forward. The board members stared, shocked. Another step. "But you're wrong." His eyes locked on Richard. "I'm stronger now than I ever was before, because I've had to fight for every single thing, every decision, every step, every breath." 3 steps now. Isla was crying silently, her hand over her mouth. "I've learned what real strength is," Damien continued. "It's not about walking or standing or fitting your idea of what a leader should look like. It's about resilience, adaptability, and refusing to quit even when everyone tells you you're finished." 4 steps. His legs were shaking badly now. Sweat dripped down his temples. "So here's what's going to happen," Damien said, his voice steel. "You're going to vote, right now, on whether I remain CEO. And if you vote me out," he locked eyes with each board member in turn, "you'll be making the biggest mistake of your careers." He took one more step. Then his legs gave out. But this time, he didn't fall. Gerald and another assistant were there immediately, easing him back into his wheelchair. The boardroom was dead silent. Then, from the back of the room, someone started clapping. Isla turned. It was Patricia, the older board member who'd called her decoration months ago. She stood, still clapping. "I've been on this board for 15 years. I've seen a lot of CEOs come and go, but I have never seen the kind of leadership Damien just demonstrated." Others started clapping. Not everyone. Richard sat, stone-faced. 3 other board members looked uncomfortable. But most of the room was on their feet. Applauding, Patricia turned to Richard. "You wanted a vote? Fine. I move that we vote right now. All in favor of Damien Hawthorne remaining as CEO, say aye." "Aye," came from around the room, one by one. 11 votes. "All opposed?" Richard and 3 others raised their hands. "Nay," Patricia smiled. "Motion carries. Damien remains CEO. Meeting adjourned." Richard stood abruptly, fury written on his face. "This isn't over." "Yes," Damien said quietly. "It is. And Richard, you're fired. You can't—" "I absolutely can. You attempted a coup. You've been undermining me for months, and—" Damien's eyes narrowed. "I know about the kickbacks." Richard went pale. "That's right, I know. And I have proof. So you have 2 choices. Resign quietly today with a severance package, or stay and face a very public investigation." Damien's smile was sharp. "Your choice." Richard looked around the room, at the board members who just voted against him, at the executives who were staring at him with newfound understanding. "I resign," he said through gritted teeth. "Excellent. Security will escort you out." As Richard was led from the room, the remaining board members approached Damien, congratulating him, shaking his hand, apologizing for doubting him. But Damien's eyes searched the room until they found Isla. She was still crying, still smiling, radiating pride. He mouthed, "I love you." She mouthed back, "I love you too." After the board meeting, after the congratulations and the relief, Isla slipped out to catch her breath. She found Catherine in the hallway. Damien's ex-fiancée stood alone, looking small and broken despite her designer clothes and perfect hair. "Catherine," Isla said softly. Catherine turned and Isla was shocked to see tears streaming down her face. "I saw what he did," Catherine said, standing up, literally and figuratively. "He was magnificent." "He was. I threw that away." Catherine's voice broke. "I had that strength, that courage, that love, and I threw it away because I was scared." Isla's heart ached. "Catherine." "I'm leaving Richard," Catherine said suddenly. "Today. I can't." I can't stay married to someone I don't love. Someone who tried to destroy the only man I ever really cared about. That's brave. It's overdue. Catherine looked at Isla. Take care of him, please. He deserves someone who sees him the way you do. I will. And Isla? Catherine managed a watery smile. Thank you for warning him about Richard's plan. I know you could have kept it to yourself. Let him fail, but you didn't. I'd never let him fail. I know. That's why you're good for him. Catherine straightened her shoulders, gathering her composure. I should go. I have a marriage to end and a life to rebuild. She walked away, leaving Isla standing in the hallway. A moment later, Damien rolled up. Was that Catherine? He asked. Yes. What did she want? To say goodbye and to thank me for saving you. Damien took Isla's hand. You did save me. In every way a person can be saved. You saved yourself. I just held your hand while you did it. That's all I ever needed. That evening, they celebrated at home. Just the four of them, Isla, Damien, Vivian, and Gerald, who'd been invited because he'd become part of the family. Mrs. Chen had prepared an actual feast, not the fancy, terrible food, but comfort food. Damien's favorite pizza, Isla's favorite pasta, desserts that were probably terrible for them, but tasted like heaven. To Damien, Vivian said, raising her champagne glass, who proved today that true leadership has nothing to do with standing or sitting and everything to do with character. To Damien, they echoed, and to Isla, Damien added, who fought for me even when I didn't deserve it. To Isla, they drank, laughed, celebrated. For one perfect moment, everything was right in the world. Then Isla's phone rang. She glanced at the screen, and her blood ran cold. Port Hope Hospital, her father's local hospital. I need to take this, she said, stepping away from the table. Hello? Ms. Monroe, this is Dr. Sarah Peterson from Port Hope Hospital. I'm calling about your father, James Monroe. Isla's heart stopped. What happened? He was brought in 2 hours ago. Severe intoxication and... The doctor paused. He attempted suicide. He's stable now, but he's asking for you. The phone slipped from Isla's hand. Damien was there immediately, catching it before it hit the floor. Isla, what's wrong? My father? Her voice broke. He tried to kill himself. Within 15 minutes, Isla had thrown clothes into a bag and ordered a car service. Damien followed her to the foyer. I'm coming with you, he said. No. Isla, no, Damien. You just won the biggest battle of your career. You can't just leave. Yes, I can. For you, I can. I need to do this alone. His jaw clenched. Why? Because, her voice cracked, because I need to face him, really face him, and say what I need to say without worrying about you or anyone else. How long will you be gone? I don't know. A few days? A week? A week? I don't know. She was crying now. He tried to kill himself, Damien. My father, the only family I have left, tried to die because he couldn't handle his own mess. I have to deal with this. Damien grabbed her hands. Then let me be there with you. I can't. Why not? Because I'm barely holding it together right now. And if you come with me, I'll fall apart. I'll lean on you instead of standing on my own 2 feet. And she pulled her hands away. I need to do this myself. That's not how marriage works. I know, but this is my father, my mess to clean up. It's not your mess. Yes, it is, she shouted. It's always been my mess. I've been cleaning up after him my whole life, and I need to end this, really end this. Set boundaries. Say goodbye if I have to. Damien looked like she'd slapped him. Goodbye? To the version of our relationship where I drop everything to save him, where his problems become mine, where I sacrifice my life for his. And what about us? What about our life? This is our life, Damien. This is me dealing with my baggage so I can show up fully for you. For us. He was quiet for a long moment. Then, "You're coming back though, right?" "Of course I'm coming back. Promise me." "I promise." "Isla," she kissed him desperately. "I love you. So much. But I need to do this. I don't like it. I know. Call me every day. I will. If you need me, if you change your mind, I'll call. I promise." The car pulled up outside. Isla grabbed her bag. At the door, she turned back. Damien sat in his wheelchair, looking lost and afraid, and trying so hard to be strong. "I'll be back soon," she said. "This isn't goodbye. It better not be." She blew him a kiss and left. The door closed behind her. Damien sat in the empty foyer, staring at the space where she'd been. Vivian approached quietly. "She'll come back." "How do you know?" "Because she loves you, and because she's strong enough to face her demons and still choose you." "What if she's not?" "Then you go after her." Vivian squeezed his shoulder. "But give her the time she asked for first. Trust her." "I do trust her." "Then show her." Damien closed his eyes, his hands clenched on the armrests. "Come back to me," he whispered to the empty room. Please come back." The hospital room smelled like antiseptic in despair. Isla sat beside her father's bed, looking at the man who'd raised her and wondering when he'd become a stranger. James Monroe looked terrible, gaunt, pale, older than his 55 years. "Isla," he said hoarsely, "you came." "Of course I came. You tried to kill yourself." "I'm sorry." "Don't." Her voice was sharp. "Don't apologize, not yet. First, I need you to explain. Why? Why would you do this?" Her father's eyes filled with tears. "Because I'm a coward. Because I couldn't face what I'd become. What I'd done to you. What you've done to me. I ruined your life. I gambled away your future. I forced you into a marriage you didn't want." "I wanted the marriage," Isla interrupted. "I love Damien. I'm happy with him." Her father looked shocked. "You are?" "Yes. Despite everything, despite you, I found something real, something good. And you almost destroyed it." "I know. I'm so sorry." "Stop apologizing." Isla stood pacing. "I need you to change. I need you to get help. Real help. Not just promises. Not just, 'I'll try.' Actual, professional, intensive help. I will. I swear." "I've heard that before. This time is different." "Is it?" Isla turned to face him. "Because here's what's going to happen. You're going to check into a long-term treatment facility, 90 days minimum. Gambling addiction, alcohol abuse, depression, all of it. Isla, and I'm not paying for it. Damien's not paying for it. You're going to use whatever money you have left, and if you don't have enough, you're going to take out a loan. Figure it out." Her father stared at her. You're cutting me off." "Yes, but I'm your father." "And I'm your daughter?" Her voice broke. "I'm not your savior. I'm not your bank account. I'm not responsible for your choices anymore." Tears streamed down James's face. "I've lost you." "No, but you've lost your hold on me. There's a difference." Isla sat back down, taking his hand. "I love you, Dad. I'll always love you. But I can't save you. Only you can do that." "What if I can't?" "Then that's your choice, and I'll grieve it. But I won't sacrifice my life for it anymore." James sobbed, deep, wrenching sobs. Isla held his hand through it. When he finally quieted, he whispered, "Your mother would be proud of you." "Would she?" "Yes. You're strong, like she was. Stronger, maybe." He squeezed her hand. "I'm sorry I couldn't be the father you deserved. You still can be. If you get help. If you fight." "Will you?" He hesitated. Will you visit? If I check into treatment? Once, to make sure you're settling in. After that, you need to do this on your own. No crutch, no safety net, just you. That's terrifying. I know, but it's necessary. He nodded slowly. Okay, okay, I'll do it. Good. They sat in silence for a moment. Then James asked, Your husband, Damien, is he good to you? He's everything. Then I'm glad, even if I don't deserve to be. Get better, Dad. Be the father I remember from before Mom died. Be that person again. I'll try. Don't try. Do. He smiled weakly. You sound like your mother. Good. Isla stayed for another hour. Then she kissed her father's forehead and left. In the hallway, she pulled out her phone. Isla, I'm okay. Dealing with it. I love you. Damien's reply was instant. Damien, I love you too. Come home when you're ready. I'll be waiting. She smiled through her tears, and for the first time in her life, Isla felt free. Free from the burden of her father's choices. Free to choose her own path. Free to go home. To her husband, to her life. Dearest viewers, have you ever had to set boundaries with someone you love? How did you find the strength? Drop your stories below. Sometimes the hardest love is the kind that says no.